Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a voice AI agent that re-engages dead or inactive leads. People who once showed interest in your business but somehow slipped through the cracks. As they say, client retention is cheaper than client acquisition. So every business has cold leads, whether it's a dental office, a hair salon, or a restaurant. Customers who visited once but never returned because no one followed up. It's simple, out of sight is out of mind. So, in this live session, I'll show you step by step how to reactivate those dead leads. We will use Vapi AI to make automated voice calls, and in order to personalize each call, we will first extract the client data from Google Sheets and then use that in the call prompt. Okay, this project is a part of the FlipBytes AI Accelerator, where our members learn by building real-world AI projects every week. Even if you're a complete beginner, you will be able to follow along and start building useful AI systems for your clients or for your own business. If you want to learn more, click the link in the description. Here is a complete workflow for today's project. Step 1. We will set up a Google Sheet containing information about inactive leads. So every 15 minutes, make.com will check for new entries or new dead leads in this sheet. Step 2. We will extract the patient's details such as name, phone, email, patient ID, last procedure date, date of the last procedure from the Google Sheet. Okay, step 3. We will then trigger the voice AI call using Vapi. Also, in order to personalize each call with the patient's name and other details, we will modify the call prompt on the fly using the client details extracted from the Google Sheet. The purpose of this call is to greet and touch base with the client and tell them that they will be getting a coupon in the mail shortly. Okay, and finally, step 4 is after a successful call, the system will automatically send an email to the customer with a 25% off coupon. Okay, let's build this project. Okay, this is project number 3, which is this. So essentially what we wanted was, this is a Sky Dental Clinic, and the project brief was that, okay, you'll have a Sky Dental Clinic, they have dead leads, okay, and they have an Excel sheet. And the scenario is that, okay, they have an not Excel sheet, sorry, a Google Docs, Google Sheet, sorry. And it has all the details out there. So something like that, okay? 1 second, I'm just going to reduce this down to this, okay.
Just out of curiosity, did you have this available for us to download and interact with it now, or we have to build this while you're doing it?
I didn't understand, basically. So,
like when you go to your other things you just showed, you had all the resources available. Are those available yet, or you're going to do that now and make them now live?
No, I'm making them live now, basically.
Okay.
So all of this. So this will, of course, I've already created the Excel sheet, and I'm going to walk you through the whole process of creating that, and then you can download that. But you cannot download it right now because I've not completed that. So yeah, I'll be doing that. And actually, I could have done it because I've already created the flow. But anyways, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take you through that. Once the recording is ready, I think by next 2-3 hours, I'll upload everything. So you can download that then. Okay, just go down. All right, so basically this is the sheet, right? So this is the dead lead sheet, which is something like an Excel, which has got, sorry, a Google Sheet, which has got the first name, last name, phone number, email, patient ID, what kind of procedure they did, and procedure date, and the status, which is contacted or not. The whole idea of the project is that, okay, so whole idea is basically that you have, there's a Sky Dental Clinic. They have people, who've been their patients for like maybe 6 months, 1 year, or something like that. And then they could not, they're busy and they're not able to actually kind of get in touch with those the people who are like, they were their patients, but right now they're not, basically, in the sense that, okay, they don't even know exactly if they are coming back or not coming back and all that stuff, basically. So they were at one point of time their patients. So that's sort of like a dead lead, and they want to revive that. And so essentially what they're trying to do is they're reaching out those guys. So the AI system will reach out to those guys. And let's say Sandeep, they'll reach out to Sandeep and say that, hey, you did a teeth cleaning process on this date, and you came to our office and on this particular day, did a teeth cleaning procedure, and we're just reaching out to say that, thank you for that. I hope you had a good experience, and here's a $25 coupon or a 25% off coupon for your next procedure whenever you come next, and that's it. Okay, so that is it's a pretty straightforward this thing. So what essentially the system should do is it will first read the CRM. It will check the status of not contacted, who's been contacted, who's not been contacted. And then then it will extract all this information. and then it will speak to the person and then email them the coupon. Okay, and then update the status to contacted. That's it. So essentially, let me just go there again.
Could you create those as a drop down so it's like a color coordination so you could see it easier, the status one?
Which one? This is the only one. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
colored this one right now because the rest is all contacted because I just have one phone number. So otherwise it won't work. If I want a demo, basically I cannot put another phone number. Otherwise you can give me your phone number, I can update that, and probably you'll get a call then. So right now this is, I've just colored it blue so that at least it's visible that way. That this is the one. And 1 second. Okay, so let me just go here. All right, so this is exactly what I said. First, we retrieve the uncontacted leads, all the dead leads and everything. Then we extract the patient's details. Then we initiate a voice call. This is where Vapi comes in, and we create an assistant. We initiate a voice call, and then we engage with the patient. It's a pretty straightforward call. The caller basically will just say that, okay, this is the procedure which you did and everything, and we want to thank you. And that's it, basically, and say that, okay, fine, we're emailing you the coupon. Then we'll send an email, and then we update the lead status. Okay, that's it. All right, so I think we have a couple of comments out here. Some people tried. That's great. Awesome. All right, so let me now take you to, so the first thing is that we need to create an assistant. All right. So initially what we used to do is we used to create an assistant in Vapi. So directly we'll go to assistants and we'll create a assistant right here, like we have done in the past. For customer service assistant, we created all the assistants out here. Now the problem is that when you create an assistant in the platform, you cannot use the details, you cannot personalize it, right? So this particular prompt is already there. You cannot add variables to this prompt. So if you want to say hi Sandeep or hi Rebecca or hi Juliet or whatever it is not possible because it is already there. So this is great when you are getting an incoming call. So for an AI receptionist, this kind of format works because when a person calls in a number, it comes to this particular assistant, and then it can start off basically by saying that, hey, and the prompt can go. But if you are doing an outbound call, you need to have the information with you. So that happens basically. So in that case, you need to go to the sheet first, right? You need to extract everything from the CRM, then use the prompt needs to be customized. And that is only possible using when you do the API thing. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to do that first. So let me just open the scenario. So this is make. And this is dead. This is a make scenario. Let me just open that and I will walk you through this whole thing. Okay. So essentially, this is what we are doing. This is the Google Sheet. So now you see a timer on that. So when initially in other things, what we did is we used a webhook, right? So when you're talking about that, when to connect Vapi to the make scenario, we used a webhook. So in those cases, let's say AI receptionist, when a person calls in, it says certain things and everything, and then it activates the Vapi and it activates a webhook, and then the control comes to make, and then we do the processing or whatever that is. All right. But in this case, the process does not start in Vapi. It starts in make. So your starting point needs to be something, right? So we have a Google Sheet here. This is the same sheet. So we'll add, in this case, we add a sheet first. After that, and then you can see a clock out here, right? So what we've done is that every 15 minutes, and you can change this, at regular intervals, or you can ask once or every day or day of the week. So you can decide when you want this process to run. Essentially, what is going to happen is, like in this case, every 15 minutes, this process is going to run. It will check the sheet if there are any contacted or not contacted. If they are not contacted, it will execute the process. If they are contacted, it will not execute it. Okay. That's it. So it will, so this is the 15-minute interval I'm giving. So you can change that at any point of time, whatever you want to do out here. On demand also, you can do that. So once this happens, what is going to happen is that it will go to the sheet, it'll extract everything. Then we put it in the array aggregator because we need to actually create an assistant on the fly. All right. So it needs JSON format. So for that, basically, you will use some tools like aggregator, iterator. Iterator basically means that, okay, it will iterate through. So, in our case, this is just one, but you can have multiple, maybe 3 or 4. I mean, if I had more phone calls, basically, we could have shown that, but phone numbers, sorry. But in this case, it will be, let's say there are 3 records, right? So the iterator goes through all 3 of them. So that is the reason we need to use an iterator. Then we go to tools. Tools out here, we'll create an assistant, and I'm just going to open that. And this is the assistant which we are creating, right? So, and I'm going to show you how to do this. You see, you have the content, you have the model, you have the transcriber. So where exactly all of these things are coming from? Now, if you see the assistant, a regular assistant, I'm just going to show you something. This is a regular assistant, right? So for every assistant, we have a model. And in the model, you have a first message, you have a system prompt, you have a provider, you have a model here, like what kind of GPT, what kind of model do you want to use, the LLM you want to use. You have something called temperature, you have max tokens. This is one part of it. Then you have within voice, you have a transcriber, in which case we are using DeepGram and Nova 3 as a model. You have a voice, which is using OpenAI and Fable, or you can use 11 Labs or something like that. Right, so 11 Labs, and you can use something different. So these are different properties, right, for each and every assistant. And now, since we are creating this on the fly, right, so we need to make sure that all of these things are taken care of. So that is where this comes in. So I'm going to show you how to make this also in a minute. But if you can see right here, this is like transcriber. We have DeepGram, we have Nova 2. Model is OpenAI, GPT-4, max tokens. So essentially, you're doing everything using the API. Okay, and this is where the difference is. Now, when you're doing a prompt, you are Sarah calling on behalf of Sky Dental Clinic. Your role is to contact patients whose details are there, blah, blah, blah. And then it comes down in this thing where you have the last procedure and you have the procedure date, right? So this is where and you can use the name as well if you want. Okay, so the patient's name as well. And so that the prompt is totally customized. And when it's giving a call, it says, hey, this is Sarah from Sky Dental Clinic. Hello, Sandeep. How are you doing? You came on so-and-so date for teeth cleaning and everything. I just want to tell you basically that, okay, we really appreciate your business, and we're offering 25% discount if you come again. So that sort of thing, right? So you're creating this on the fly. And that is the reason where you can use variables, which you cannot use in this place. So this is, you can't, so that is the reason you have to create it on the fly, right? And there is a way. So we are creating the assistant, and we'll also be updating the assistant later on. So I've not shown this out here, but let's say if you want to do it again and again and again and again, so you don't want to be creating an assistant, you can either create and delete the assistant, or you can update the assistant. Okay, so we can use routers and everything, but I just wanted to keep it simple. That is the reason I'm just showing you this one. But of course, you can add much more functionality to this particular process. All right. So then you have the first message, you have the voice, all of this thing needs to be created. This is the JSON, okay? So once this comes out here, then again, you need to create into array JSON because it requires it like that. And then you will keep a HTTP call. Now this HTTP call is nothing but a call to Vapi. You can see it out here. And it says that, hey, let me just call you. So you'll give it the phone number, you'll give the name and the patient, and that is how it's going to give a call. Then it sends an email, and then it updates the record. Okay, so this is the whole process. Now I'm going to start walking you through this. All right. So you've already seen the sheet. This is that basically, with all those things. Okay. So the first process is that you need to create the, what do you call it? The assistant. So for creating an assistant, what you'll do is you'll go to Vapi Docs right here. I'm going to just go to Google, basically. I think it should be okay. Vapi documentation. I think you should, there you go. Docs, API references, and that's it. So it comes right here. Okay, so I just wanted to show you the process. All right, so let's come here. So when we're creating an assistant from the API, you'll go to create assistant right here. And I've already created that assistant. So I think, let me just clear the form so I can show it to you. What's going on here? All right, sorry. So when you go to create an assistant, you'll go to try it. Okay, so you click on that, try it, because you can see the code. It is going to build the code for you. You will actually select certain things, and it's going to build the code for you. Just going to move this out here. Okay, so I'm going to say try it, and then it updates this thing. So first of all, basically what you need to do is you need to actually get an API key. Okay, it's a token. So the token you can get from Vapi. So you go to Vapi, you go to your settings, I think, API keys. Within org setting, you have API keys. Click on API keys, and you need a private key. Okay, so I have 2 keys. You can create one more. It's loading still, but you can add a key out here. Okay, so I have these 2 keys out here. I created one automated cold caller test basically for this particular one, but it's very easy. So you just add a key and it'll give you this thing. So just copy this and then go back to, okay, so go back to make, or not make, sorry. Yeah, this thing. Okay, so just open this out here and then you paste the key. Okay, that's it. So when you paste the key, it'll get green. So then you have a token which is authenticated. Next is that you need to actually start creating the API. So the moment you update this thing, it'll start creating it out here. I'm not going to create the whole thing, but I'm going to show you how to do this so you can see and kind of do that. So I'm going to clear the form. It's cleared. All right. So let's create this thing. First is a transcriber. Okay. Let's open that so that it's easier for you to understand as well. I'm going to open this thing. So you have a transcriber right here. So let's go transcriber. You have DeepGram, English language, and model is Nova 3, or we can use Nova 2, whatever. And then you have other things, but nothing else is, everything else is default. So I'm just going over here. I said, okay, transcriber. So you see, it's added transcriber right here. And then within transcriber, you have some 6 optional properties. So let's open those. Then you say, okay, I have language. Okay, so when you say language, it's EN. So it's added language EN out here. Then you open it again and you say model. Yeah, should have something called model. Oh, 1 second. Fallback, variable boost, disable, transcriber. Where is that gone?
It's under 32 options. Click on the 32 option one. That one.
No, that's a different model. That's a different model. It should come within that. This is a different model. This is basically model for your the first message, the prompt. Anyways, let me
Oh,
see. That.
sorry. Because
So
I got stuck. I didn't see it there either.
yeah, I know. It's a little painful, basically, but you need to find this out. That's the thing. I've done this. Oh, assembly. That is the reason it's not coming. Sorry. So I need to select DeepGram here because that's, I mean, you have options right here, right? You can select DeepGram, assembly, AI, and everything. So not everybody has all this thing. So whenever you select this, your every other property changes up based on that. So when I select DeepGram, yeah,
Sandeep, just uh, while this might seem a little complicated, but actually it isn't. It's whatever you were doing in the UI, where you were, clicking and selecting a model and, adding all those
yeah, it's
parameters.
it's
It
very
is
simple. Basically,
essentially,
just
yeah, it is essentially the same thing, but you're just doing it in a textual format, or to be specific, this is called JSON format. So you're just kind of putting, keys and values, which were what you were doing in the UI through, clicking a drop down and selecting all of that. So it's
yeah.
essentially the same thing, but you're doing this through code. And again, without losing sight of why we're doing this, because we want to create dynamic prompts on the fly for our assistant.
Exactly. So it's not very difficult, as Dheeraj just said. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah, I mean, like you just have to. It is a little, I mean, irritating because the thing is like, okay, you just need to make sure that okay, you are there, but it just drop downs. Yeah. So we selected the model as DeepGram. Okay, so now I should see a model here. So language is there. So I'm going to select the language, and the language is EN. So I selected EN, okay, and then there are 9 more options within this particular transcriber. So I'm going to open that and I should see something called a model. I have a model now, and then I can see Nova 2. Where is Nova 2? Nova 2 is right here. Okay, so Nova 2, and everything is updated right here. Okay, so the transcribe is done. The next is 32 more properties. So the next one we pick up is the model. Okay, so now you want the model. Why am I picking up the model? Because this is what it is. So in model, I should see there's a first message, there's a system prompt, there's a provider, there's a model, there's a file, there is temperature, there's max token. So all of these properties belong to this particular model. Okay, so let's see. So now within model, it's an object. With an object, I have any scale, but I'm not going to pick up any scale. I'm going to pick up OpenAI. You're free to choose whatever you want. You can use Grok or something else. I'm going to choose OpenAI since I've been using that. And within that, I have GPT-4o is what I use. So let me just find GPT-4o right here. Okay. And you can see on the side, it is updating everything. So it's pretty straightforward. So then after that is I don't have a knowledge base. Then you have max tokens. I have max tokens. So I'm going to say max tokens of 250, 250. Okay. Next is max tokens temperature. I have temperature also. I'm going to put it as 0.3 because that's what I have out here, 10.3, and the model is right here.
You will also see that, a lot of these parameters that Sandeep is entering have a default value. So, for example, when he chose temperature, it already had a value of 0. So, most of the times, these parameters will work with their default values. However, there would be some which would require, which are essential, and they'll generally have like I think a red asterisk mark or something like that, which wherein you'll have to put in a value. But for most of these values, if you don't put in a value, it'll just take the default value.
Okay. All right. And the last is the message. Okay. So this is the message which you have. Okay. So when you click message, this is where the prompt goes. So I have written a prompt like this is your Sarah clicking on behalf of this thing. Okay. So I can just copy this and this is essentially you're creating the schema right now. Right. So where is the message gone?
Would it be capable of taking a screenshot of what you have in Vapi, bring it into OpenAI, and tell it to just make the JSON file based on the parameters set on that thing, and it would do this for you?
I've not tried that, but I think you can do that.
Yes, it
I
could
think,
work. Yeah,
That's how
nowadays
I would do it.
it's yeah, it's
yeah.
pretty smart that way.
Maybe I've not tried that actually, but it should be possible. Definitely, why not?
In
Okay.
fact, you could also, the link, the documentation link, the URL that Sandeep is on, you could actually take this also into any LLM of your choice, whether it's Grok or ChatGPT or whatever, and say that, okay, go through this documentation and make me the JSON for whatever you want to achieve. And you can also say something like, ask me questions if you want any inputs from me. And
Uh,
that's pretty much it.
Okay. All right, guys. Let me just get this thing sorted out. So this is the role because the role is out here. It's system role. Okay. And then you have content. So I'm just going to paste that Sarah thing out here. Okay. The whole thing is ready. And you can see the role and the system is updated. I'm going to go and what else is there? I think, let's see, 7 options. Oh, am I missing something? I've done the system prompt. First message comes later. This is done, 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 done. Okay. Deepgram, this is done. Achha, next is voice. Okay, so I'm going to go to voice and then within voice. Okay, so I'm going to select 11 labs and voice ID is 11 labs. Select enum. I'm going to select Sarah because that's what, you can choose whatever you want. Okay. And then out here again, so every thing, as I said, has an option. 11 labs. If you see provider is 11 labs, you have a voice and then you have a model along with it. But if you change
Sorry
this,
for interrupting, Sandeep.
yeah, sure.
Just on this screen, can you click the voice where Sarah is?
Yeah.
I'm just curious, how many choices do you have? Like mine have a lot of other tests. What are they? Like those?
These are 11 labs. People have actually done that. I don't know why they're coming like this. They should not actually. But in 11 labs, people have created their own this thing, and it's all showing out here for some reason, basically, because it is not showing the default. Only 11 labs provider, the voices should show out here. Maybe there's a setting. I don't know about that right now. But then people have somebody have created test 2, test 3, or whatever, and all of these are showing out here. But you won't see all of these out here in 11 labs. If you select this thing, this is all,
Yeah.
these are default voices as well. Okay. So that is the reason. And what I was saying is that, so when you have the provider, based on the provider, everything else changes, right? So when you have 11 labs, you have voice, and then you also have a model. In this case, I'm going to select something else. Basically, you can select Flash 2.5, which I prefer. Okay. But if you change this to Cartesia, let's say providers Cartesia or Vapi for that matter, you don't have that model. This is it basically. So they have a default listing. So all of these changes. So depending on what you want and what you select, your options change. Okay. And I just wanted to show you this. Okay. So if I'm back here, I've selected 11 labs, I've selected Sarah, and then I need to select the model as well. Okay, so I select the model, and your model is Turbo 0.5, Flash 2.5. There you go. So everything is getting, again, as I said, getting updated right here. All right. So now the last thing which we're left is that voice is done. This is done. So I need to get the first message. Where is the first message? First message right here. And then I can actually copy the first message from here. Hi, this is Sarah from Star Dental Clinic. Our records indicate you have a patient at a clinic. Is this a good time to talk? This is the first message which I'm using. So I'm going to update that right there. Paste. Okay. All right. So basically, this is it. And what I will do is then after that, what I did is I actually copied this from here. Sorry. And then I went to ChatGPT and I told it, they say that just convert this into your JSON. And that it spit out. Let me just show you ChatGPT if I've done that correctly. I don't know where that is. It's okay. And what it spit out was this. All right. So when you open tool, this is where I get that from. So this is the JSON. Okay. So which we have created: DeepGram, Nova 2, OpenAI 4 GPT, and all those things. Message. Okay. And now the only difference is that once I created this particular prompt, I didn't have the details, right? So this is where I got the details from. So this is coming from the CRM. So once you run the CRM, basically all of these values are available to you, right? So when you click on this and you click on anything, so all of these values from this thing. So you have status, you have date of procedure, you have last procedure, patient ID, all of these things are available to you. And you can use all of this in your prompt, however you want to basically. So you can say that, okay, you're Sarah, put in the patient's name, put in the patient's last name, you can email, put in this email, his patient ID. So whatever you want to do, you can actually do it on the fly out here. I'm just using the patient last procedure and the procedure date out here. All right. So within this basically, and then of course, there's the first message, voice, everything is right here. So once I create this, all right, now I want to, so I've used a variable out here. If you can see within tools, I don't know if in case, this is set variable. I'm just doing that so it's easier for you. You can directly create it. I just prefer that, okay, I use that a variable and then I pass the variable along. So it's much easier for me to do it. All right. So this, I've created an assistant variable. And after that, next is I need to create it into a JSON. So what I'll do is I will go here just for people who actually don't know how to do this. Yeah, this is really irritating, man. Okay, I'm going to put it here. Sorry. All right. So in order for you to create this thing, you can always go to plus and you can say JSON or Google Sheet or whatever you want to add. You know, all those things you can add from here for anyone who is new to make. So I've used tools. Tools you can find right here again. You can just say tools. And then there you go. And within tools, basically, you can set a variable. So when I click on this, I have set variable. So this is what I've used to do that. Then I create that into a JSON. So basically, a JSON string, I pass, I said create JSON, parse JSON, sorry. And then after that, I will use this. So where am I getting this from? This is basically the assistant. So when I click on this, you will have this tool available. So you just pick this up and you put it here. Okay, so now it's created a JSON. Array aggregator, now it goes into aggregation. So now it has all of those things, right? So once it creates a JSON, now you have name, model, voice, transcriber, first message, all of this is available to you. So you can actually select that. And then again,
Was that coming from your Google Sheet? Where was it getting these parameters
this is
from?
basic. Yeah, so this is coming from the JSON. So the tool, within the tool, you have all of these, right? Now, once you create, you parse the JSON. So after parsing, you put into an array and then you transform to a JSON. So when you have that, all of this is coming, all of these values are coming. And I'm going to show the values to you in a second. I'll show you how, once I run it, it'll be clearer.
So
Okay.
this array is from Vapi's thing
Yes,
that you just
exactly.
created with the JSON. Got
So
it. Okay.
yeah. All right. So after that, once you create an array, you need to transform it back to JSON. So then you use this and then you just say, you pass this out here, the array, this right here. Okay. When you click on this, basically the array, you'll see the array. You just pass the array. And after that, you add a HTTP module. So HTTP module, again, you can click here and then you'll just say make a request, this one. You have Vapis also basically, but I prefer because it gives you more control. That is the reason I like using this particular one. Otherwise, you could have used Vapi. I've not tried that till now, to be very honest. There's something from Vapi as well. I don't know what exactly do they have. Okay, so you have watched call request, create an outbound phone call, respond. Maybe this works as well, make an API call. But I found that maybe they've added some new things, because last time when I did this, they didn't have a lot of options. So I didn't use that. So I just used a regular HTTP module just to call. Okay, so if you go here, in order to make a call, you will have, so I need to make a call now, right? So I've created this whole assistant, and now I want to make a call to Vapi. So then for making a call, you go back to Vapi API, and you have something called create a call. And within create a call, you have this URL. So I'm going to use this URL out here. Where's the URL gone? Right here. Okay. It's a post request authorization bearer. You will use your API key in this case. This is a temporary API key. Make sure basically that, okay, if you are making a video or something like that, make up temporary key, don't make a permanent key, because you cannot, the first one, the private key, you cannot delete. So if some, so that becomes this one, I'm going to delete out of the call anyways. So this is a temporary key. Then you have JSON body, which is raw, JSON application, application JSON, you'll use the content type. And then you have request. So in this case, you have a customer number. So all of this thing you can again create from here itself. So when you go to create a call, you go here, and then you will say name, and then you can actually select that, whatever the name is if you want. Then you can actually say assistant ID, phone number, customer ID, all of those things. And again, it'll start creating that. I'm not, one second. Where is that going? Okay. So once you have this JSON format, so you have a customer number, just make sure that the number is again coming from the sheet, right? So again, when I do this, you can see all of these values are available to me. Okay. So this is the flow control, which is the array which has extracted the, the sheet. So you have Sandeep, Kaista, phone number, email, everything is right here. So all you have to do is just pick up this thing and then put it out there. So phone number.
You prefer to put the plus in front of that there instead of on the sheet?
Yeah, but no, your sheet does not take a plus basically. So if you do a plus here, it actually changes the meaning of that. That is the problem. So I cannot add a plus. Yeah, so it has to be then a different format. So it's much better basically if you just add a plus right here. Okay. So you add a phone number, you add a name, first name, and then you need a phone number ID. Now, where do you get the phone number ID from? So before the phone number ID, I'm just going to show you something else as well. And you have an assistant, and then assistant, I'm going to pass the JSON. So you see the JSON which I've created out here. This is the whole assistant which we created, right? So what I'm going to do is I'll just pass the JSON string. So tools, this is the assistant, just pass it out here. Sorry, this one, JSON, transformation, this one, because it needs to be a JSON. This is not JSON. So this JSON, I'm just going to pick this up and then just drag it here. So now in assistant has the assistant. It can create an assistant. It has the customer number. It has the name, the phone number. So now the phone number, you go back to Vapi and you have something called phone numbers here. Okay. Now I can use 3 different methods to get a phone number. So when you say create a phone number, you can either, or maybe, they've added a lot more now. Okay. So I used a free Vapi number. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, right now, it just uses American numbers, so you don't have much of a choice. But if you want British numbers or UK numbers and everything, then you can, use Twilio or 1H, different ones, right? But for this particular demo, I just use a free Vapi number, and you can just say the area code. So in our case, I think I use New York, which is 646. And I told them, I said, I want a number. And I just say create. Oh, what happened? Or maybe it just gives you one number only. Okay, create number. I can't get more numbers. Vapi phone numbers are free of charge. No, you can get 10 numbers. What's the problem? 301. What about 301? Okay. I don't know what it's doing here. Oh, it's okay. It's created 2 numbers. So you see, it is activating those numbers. It's that simple. So what you'll do is you will just create the number once it gets activated in 1.3 minutes or something. And yeah, but how do I delete this? Anyways, let it be, doesn't matter. So this is how you add a number. Once you add a number, what you need to do is your assistant is already created. In my case, it was created basically. So I added a DLR automated AI call this thing, and I just use this basically. So once you run this scenario, it will create the assistant, and then you can actually attach it to the Vapi number. And that is the number ID. So once you go here, every number has an ID. Like this way, this number has an ID. So you copy this, you go back to this place, and then you just add the ID out here. Okay. And that's it. So once this is done, so then basically you're giving all the information. Just remember to give it the bearer, the API key, authorization, and then raw this thing, and then after that, in this particular format, you just need to call
Here's
that.
another dumb question. How do you know when to put the comma and the quotations? Is that done when you were doing the Vapi thing and it's like pre-filled and you're putting in between there, or you have to remember to put the comma?
So there's a format basically. So once you create the call, there's a format basically. It'll tell you exactly you want it in this format. So the
Okay.
basic. So
If you look at this customer object, Alexander, so this has within customer you have this whatever's there within the outer curly braces. Now that is a JSON array of a number and a name, and you see a comma after the green number is ending. And let's say if we
Yeah.
had number, name, and some other field, maybe like, I don't know, age. So there would be a comma after name also.
yeah.
Yeah.
You see, this is, yeah. So as I said, this is the customer object. Dheeraj said, so we don't have a comma here. But once you get out of the customer object, basically, then you have JSON. So last one should not have a comma. Otherwise, it'll give you a syntax error.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I usually get, a syntax error, and I don't know
Yeah.
why. And I'm just
No, exactly.
See, it's very logical. If you look at a sentence where you're putting in, so I'm going to the grocery store and I'm going to buy bread, eggs, butter, milk, and cheese. So there's bread, comma, eggs, comma, butter, comma, whatever, and cheese, right? And maybe like a period after cheese. But up before, so every item in that list has a comma except for the last one. That's pretty much it. So you have a number followed by the actual number, comma, name followed by the actual number, no comma because that's the last thing in that entire list of customer. I hope
I
that
just
makes
wanted
sense.
to know how he got it populated inside this window. Is it pre-done when you were copying and pasting it to add the number ID, like what you just did, or you have
No,
to?
the number ID, you won't have it like this. Basically, it will be like this. You will get the format, and then it'll be like this. Okay, so you just need to,
Exactly.
yeah.
So
So
now people, if they don't put that explanation point, the quotation at the end, it breaks.
uh,
Yes, yes. So look at it this way, whatever you're seeing, um, so let's say within the customer, we got a number which is in inverted commas, then you got a colon, and you got another inverted commas, and the value actually comes within those inverted commas. So it is a key and a value. The key is number, which has a value of the actual phone number. The name is again a key, which has a value, which is the patient's first name. Yeah. And all
No,
these
I'm seeing
keys,
it. I get what you're saying.
yeah.
okay. Okay, perfect then. So what I'm going to do is, all right, so this is basically, so you create this, okay? So now you pass the assistant, phone number, we have all the information to make the call. All right, so this is done. This particular portion is done. So the next one was that, okay, it is going to make a call. Then after that, we need to send an email out. So we add another email module. Again, go to here, go to Gmail, and you can add the email module. So when you open the email module, you have to add, in my case, basically I've already authenticated. If you're not authenticated, you just need to add. So, you just with your Gmail or whatever email account you want to use, you can use that right here. Okay, so my email is ready basically. So then after that, you will pull the email address. So email address is, again, you have all this information right here. So I've used this particular one. I just dragged it right here, and that's it. Okay. Then I say subject is 25% off coupon, and first name is Sandeep. So basically, I'm just kind of more customizing it a little bit so that the email looks genuine. 25% off for Sandeep. Hi, first name. Here's your 25% off coupon. This is the numbers, and please present this email during your next visit to Sky Dental Clinic. We look forward to welcoming you. Blah blah blah, and that's finished off. Okay, so this is to send an email. Now, when you select a module, it is a send an email module right here. So when you actually do this right here, when you click
And that
on
little gray number that has 25 means that you sent 25 emails, or does that mean something else?
where 25?
Next to Gmail, and then it has 8 and 7 and 6. That's confusing.
Yeah,
Just gray box.
I think
I have no
probably
idea.
the number of times the run has been made.
Probably, I've run that so many times, I guess. Or maybe I'm like the properties basically, but that doesn't make any sense. 25. I'm not sure actually.
Okay.
That's a good question. I'll find what exactly this means. This doesn't mean, I'm pretty sure this doesn't mean 25 runs. It means something else. Because otherwise,
I,
the whole thing runs like that only.
I think the send an email module has probably been used
Not,
25 times. I don't know. I'm not sure.
no, yeah, no, I'm not sure. Because when I run, the whole process runs anyways. Okay. And the last process is, oh, it says 27, maybe. Wait, I don't know. So this is to update a record. Okay. So what essentially you want to do is that this is not contacted till now. So when the system sees, it's going to see, oh, Sandeep has not been contacted. So I'm going to run every 15 minutes as I've shown you. It'll run, it'll extract all the data. It will send an email, it'll give a call, and then it will update the status to contacted. That's it.
Is it able to make multiple calls at the same time, like 20 of them at the same time?
Yes. So you can adjust that in the, what do you call, one second. You can adjust it out here. So in number of bundles, if you click here and it says number of bundles limit, I've just set it to 1. You can actually, if you say 0, it will give calls to all the people basically at some point of time. Obviously, this is a very simple system, Alexander. I mean, I'm not complicating it enough, but if you want to really use it for a client and everything whatsoever, then you need to put in some logic wherein it does not create an assistant every time it updates an assistant. Then it has to have those other logics as well. But this is pretty much, I wanted to just demonstrate it. But if in case you want to, yeah, if for the client and everything, there'll be a little additional stuff just for, sort of error checking and error handling, nothing much. Okay. So this is it basically. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run this system. I think this is all done. And yeah, one more thing. So as you saw, Vapi can only give a call to the US number. Okay. For now, if you have Twilio and if you use it for a client, I think, okay, all of these are on now. How do you delete these numbers? Okay, anyways, doesn't matter. I'll see it later on. So Vapi basically, so once you get these numbers and everything, they can only give a call to the US number. Okay. So I have used this particular, I don't know how many people, I mean, if you have to use it somehow, and let me just tell you which service I used. Sonotel. So if you need to, basically, you can do that as well. Where was that service gone? Yeah. It's not Sonotel. Sonotel, I think. Is this the one? Yes, I guess this is the one. Okay, so I've used this system. Okay, if I sign in. So this is the phone number which I've used. So you can basically, this service is pretty good. What it does is that it actually, you can provision a number for $2 a month or something. And what essentially you can do is then you can forward it to the number. So what I'm doing is I'm using this number. Okay, and it's just a temporary number basically. But what I'm doing is I'm actually call forwarding it to my own number that way. Okay. So when somebody calls this number, so Vapi can only make calls to the US number. So once somebody calls it, it automatically forwards it to this thing. You can use that for your clients and everything whatsoever. So you can get a number and you can forward it to a lot of numbers. You can get a phone number for a lot of countries, Albania, Argentina, so all of these. So this is pretty good service actually.
Does it do it for free?
I'm sorry?
Does it do it for free for you? Like you're
No, no.
calling Singapore number.
It will be a local number. So it doesn't, so it acts as a local number. So basically when somebody gives a call to US, it's just pushing it to forwarding it to Singapore number, but then it charges local rates.
Local rates,
Yeah.
meaning not international rates?
No, not international rates. At least that's what they claim basically, but I did not test it till now. So I've only tested it basically based on this particular number and I'm forwarding it to my Singapore number. And it charges, we'll see how much it charges. Right now it's $5.06. Let's see how much it charges. Okay. All right. So this is, I just wanted to let you know, this is exactly if you can do, if you have an international client. Okay. So I'm going to run that right now. And this is my phone number in my hand, phone in my hand right now. And let's see. Okay. So I'm going to run and then I should get an email. I don't have an email right now. So this is the old email. So I'm just going to delete that. So last one is a Stamford Hotel. All right. So after this, I should get an email also from there. Okay. All right, so let's run this. Now it's running. And you can see all this thing. Now it's running and making a call. Now it's sending an email. I should get a call. Why am I? Yeah, I got a call right now. So you can see that. I don't know. And I'm
Well,
going
it sent you the coupon before you answered the call?
to, 1 second, just.
Sky Dental. Our records indicate you were a patient at our clinic. Is this a good time for a quick chat?
Yeah, sure.
Great. I'm calling to check in and see how you're doing. I noticed you had a teeth cleaning procedure with us on June 12th, 2023. I hope everything went well for you. I also have some exciting news to share. As a valued past patient, we're offering you a special 25% discount on your next procedure. We'll be sending the coupon to your email shortly, so keep an eye out for it. Thank you so much for your time today. We look forward to seeing you again at Sky Dental Clinic. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so it gave a call. I got the coupon right here. Of course, it's not formatted, so you can use the HTML in that. And formatted, hi Sandeep, here's your two. So whatever we just said, I've got an email as well. And if you go back, this is contacted now. So it will not contact again. Okay. So this is the
What if
process.
you
Basically.
answer the phone? Does it contact you?
What's that?
What if you don't pick up the phone? Does it say
So it'll send
contact?
a voicemail. So it'll go into voicemail.
But in that Google Sheet, does it say contacted or does it still say not contacted?
Yeah, I mean, it'll say contact. Right now, I've not put in the check basically. So if you actually read out, if you put in the if conditions and everything, that if it doesn't call, then you add those things. So those things you need to add right now. You know, so this is a
Okay.
pretty straightforward process. But if you were to, let's say, for example, if the person does not pick up, then you can say out here, if the person doesn't pick up and everything whatsoever, then you give a call, give a call again, or you can put a router here and things like that.
Yeah, you could also like put in rules where you say that okay, if the person doesn't answer, then try calling him after X amount of time.
Yeah.
A total of a maximum of 3 tries, and in case after that also there's no response, then instead of contacted, we can put it as dead lead or something like that. And
Yeah. So all of those things, and you can update that. So basically, yeah, this is a pretty straightforward process, yeah. Because I mean, like I need to keep the thing in within 1 hour, basically, because you can, if you are giving it to the client, there will be a lot of other things as well you need to add. Obviously, when you're actually going there, how many times the data is updated. Obviously, you don't want the client to come and copy and paste things out here. So you'll have a process which is going to their CRM and getting the data, or maybe just directly going to their CRM. You don't have to have a Google Sheet. You probably just go directly to HubSpot or something like that, that you can use HubSpot also out here. So all those things can be done. And then when you're creating a call, if the call is not picked up, then you can do a certain action. If the call is declined, then you can do a certain action, things like that. So all those conditions you can add. But this is essentially the process. What my main purpose of this particular live build was to show you how to create an assistant using APIs, because in a lot of places you will need that. Because when you're actually contacting, look, if you are getting a call, inbound calls, that's amazing. Basically, you can do all of those things in the platform itself, and that is not a problem. But if you are using CRM, and then most of the cases, it will be like that. So if you're giving a call to the person and you're kind of customizing it, you need to make it, something only for that particular person. Maybe, you have CRM has details only for that particular patient or only for that particular customer. So you can actually get all those data, make the prompt in such a way that it's totally customizable, and then you can use the system. Okay. One more thing. So I basically want to show you. So once you run the system, like it's every 15 minutes, I can change that. So now when I do it, when I activate it, it will start polling the system. Every 15 minutes, it'll see if there is no data in the sheet. If there is no new data, it'll go away. If in case there is no new data, it will execute. Okay. So I'm just going to close that right now. And all this data is right here. So when you run the system once, so it is like, this is what is in the Google Sheet. Output of Google Sheet is like this. Then you need to, so you can see what it's creating as well. For anybody who's new to Make, this is something which you can see that, okay, once you run that, you have all the values. So what is the output? You can see that, okay, this is the output of the assistant. This is how the assistant is being created. This is the JSON. And now within that, so this is teeth cleaning. See, this is teeth cleaning on June 12th. Now, this is picking up from the variable itself, from the sheet. So this is the beauty of actually using it like this. And yeah, so when you do an output, all of this is right here, all the details. It's properly aligned. For voice has everything, transcriber has everything, all those things. Okay.
And can you add an image to the email that's going out? So if you wanted to create like a little coupon code in Canva and upload that, would that be easy enough to do?
I think so. Attachment, yes, you have attachments out here. You can easily attach right
Okay.
here. Okay, so yeah, you can do those things basically. So that should not be a problem. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing now. So this is any questions on this, like this process?
How'd you come up with 2023?
I don't know. I told ChatGPT to make all the, I told basically just give me demo data. So it just gave me demo data. So some of that. So this is all demo data. Then I actually changed the first one basically because otherwise it won't not giving a call. So I had to actually update my number because these are all fake numbers. This is all fake emails as well. So that way. Okay. And let me just close this right now. Okay. Talking. This is it. And I'm going to stop sharing now. Stop share. Okay.
Well, once we've finished.
In time. Just
Yeah.
about in time. Oh my God. It's actually 10:59. Yeah. Otherwise, always on this thing. But I hope basically the session was a little helpful. What I'm going to do is for the next steps, I think this project 3 is done. And after a call, what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload the video recording, this particular one, plus all the resources which you have. So that's pretty much it. Yeah. Any other questions or anything anybody wants to share? More than welcome to do it right now.